Well, welcome back to my channel, Little Chaparro. Again, it's a play on words of little short guy, right? Because I am a short guy. Today I bring to you the Tag Heuer Aquaracer. As the tagline says, don't buy a Tissot PRX, buy this Tag Heuer. And you're like, what? Why not buy a PRX? It's very popular right now. It looks like a Gentra type style watch from like the Royal Oak and many other styles, just like the Engineer for, I think, ICW. Again, this watch came out in like 2006, I think, 2007. It is, I would say, the very beginnings of the Aquaracer. It does have that boxy, shape all around that the Royal Oak gives you. It almost looks like it has that integrated bracelet, but it's not integrated. So it is 20 mils thick from the beginning, and then it tapers all the way down to 17 mils down to the clasp. And then it is pressed. It's not milled, which I kind of sometimes like it better. Sometimes it takes off that weight. When you do have a milled clasp, I think it just adds a little bit more weight and bulk to the clasp. It does have a diverse extension in here. See, it's dirty because it's old, but it's a really good watch. So the reason I say buy this one versus a PRX is that, one, it's a Tag Heuer, right? And Tag Heuer's gotten a bad reputation. I think it's starting to fix its reputation from last year and the previous year from that. Obviously, one of the most popular line is the Aquaracer. Now, the reason I say to buy this one in particular is that, well, when it was first launched back in like 06 or 07, there are variations of this particular watch. There's a silver dial, there is a blue dial. The cool part about it is that if you look at the dial, it kind of has that waffle imprint across. So it has that Royal Oak style. So if you look at it, there it is, that waffle pattern. So if you want that, this watch has it. The cool part about it is that, Tag Heuer was at the time lying about its caliber. So they were still calling this the Caliber 5 or Calibre 5, but in reality, it's just the ETA 2824-2 watch, 25 joules, 28,000 beats, but great watch. Right now, it's not winded, but it is a great watch. And I think that this is under the radar. Not all people know about it. So again, this one is the WAF2110 BA0806. It's a mouthful, but in short, it's the WAF2110. There is, I think, the WAF211 and I think the 2112, if I'm not mistaken. And I think either the 2111, maybe with the white dial, and the 2112 is the blue dial. But this is what they call that. What they call it? I think it's called the black Gyuchi black dial. It doesn't have the Tag Heuer color of green and red, but it's just, this watch is awesome. I don't think people know too much about it. Only like 39 in the case, or 38.5, 45 from lug to lug. So 45 mils from lug to lug. Again, like I said, 20 mils on the lug here, and then it goes all the way down to 17. The issue about this watch is so highly polished that, it is a fingerprint magnet, so I have to constantly be like buffing it out to make sure I can keep it all nice and clean. But, when it comes to bracelets, it's not so bad. It's not hollow. There's no screws. It is a pin and collar system. Again, it's just like about 20 years ago. So, but it is a really good watch, and it's only 11 mils thick, so it is extremely wearable. I've worn in under suits during events, and it just hangs underneath the cuff. The crown is signed, albeit a little bit small. It's a little bit small. It kind of takes a little time to unscrew it because of the crown guards, but man, it still winds perfectly fine. Those ETA calibers are just awesome. It has not been serviced, so there's going to be a time that it will need to be serviced. So any watch repair guy can actually fix these watches just because the caliber is so common. and it's, there it goes. It keeps great time. Again, I'm not a very accuracy buff guy. The bezel is not too bad. I would say a little bit, feels a little fake. A little, I don't know what it, just, I don't know, like cheap, I guess, but it's still well built, a very well built watch, but just, I don't know, something about the bezel action just feels really clunky and fake, like almost like plastic. Like I would say like I have a Luminox watch, feels that way when you turn the bezel around. So you can hear it yourself. It just doesn't, it's not the best. It has a sapphire glass and does have anti-glare. So, it almost seems like there is no glass and you can just go straight to the dial. The dial is just awesome, and I do love that wafer pattern. I do love the Aquaracer on there. You can see it. Let me see if I can get a closer look at it. Aquaracer automatic 300 meters, which just still blows me away to think that this thin watch is 300 meters. That's just awesome. This is a great watch, and this is one of those few watches that I don't really typically like wearing watches on a metal bracelet, but this bracelet, while albeit it's an old watch, about 15, 16 years ago, I mean, it wears well. I mean, it gives me that Rolex type feel with their, their steel, but it's just that regular industry standard steel, so it's not too bad. Not a bad watch. Original price for these things were about $1,500. A good example with all its box and original papers can easily, clock in about $1,800 today's market. I managed to snag this one on eBay for I think about $625. I've gone on eBay to see if I can find its siblings, and I mean, they're clocking anything over $1,000, even including this one model too. I was like, well, maybe if I got another one, I don't know, I do like the watch itself. No, another good example, it's about close to $1,000, a little bit over 800 and some scratched up ones, but and I got lucky. I was able to snag one on time, on the right moment. So I bought it early 2024. Love the watch, and I think it's going to be completely part of my collection for the rest of my life, I'm being honest. Again, I don't think I'll be able to find another watch like this, again, unless I get its siblings. And if you look at the case back here, you got that old school scuba diver. There it is. The WAF2110, 300 meters, 1,000 feet, automatic, sapphire, Swiss. Just a great watch, man. Just a sick watch. Again, like I said, the only problem that it does have about this watch is that it has that glare. Now, why would I say you should choose this one over a PRX? I think that everybody's just went ahead and bought a lot of those PRX watches, but I mean, I think if you want something that's different, again, made from a good watchmaker, I know controversial there, but it is a good watchmaker, they've been around for a long time, then I would say get this Tag Heuer WAF2110 if you have the opportunity to find one on eBay or from a good watch dealer. I wouldn't pay anything. I wouldn't pay $1,000 for it. Maybe like anything between 600 to 700 US. But you do have, well, it is an antique watch, not 20 years old, but close to 20. But it does have a reliable ETA 2824-2, 25 jewels. Again, just a great watch, man. And again, like this bracelet is amazing. And again, I love their milled clasp, but I sometimes don't. I love this stamped one. It just gives me that, I don't know, those old school Rolex feels, and that's what this watch does. It gives me that old school Rolex feel of those day dates or Datejust from the 80s and 90s, those gold ones, or two-toned, and this watch gives me that that feel too. So I think that PRX is closed, that Tissot really made a good watch with that integrated bracelet, but again, with Tissot's watch of the PRX, you can't swap out the bracelet, you can't change it out. The cool part about this watch is it's 20 mils thick from here on the lugs, so you can just change out the strap whenever you want to, and you can do a NATO strap or French National, those bungee straps too, so you can switch it up and give it a different look for the watch. PRX can't do that, and I get it, they have that Paramonic 80, which again is just basically a base ETA with the extended hour reserve of 80 hours, basically what it is. So that's what a Paramonic 80 is, just 80 hours of power reserve. I think this one, if I leave it without, with a full wind, and if I leave it down without using it, I think it would last, you know, just over 40 plus hours. So it's not too bad. Again, you're cycling through your watches is not a problem, and if you have more than one. But if this is your only one and you just want to have this for a long time, it's just going to do you good. And again, it can be serviced. It does carry an ETA movement in there. I've not gone swimming with it, but you know, dishwashing, doing my basic stuff with the water, it holds perfectly fine. The seals are great. I've seen some watches for at least 30 years plus and the seals are fine. Obviously, albeit that you got to be more cautious, but I think this one perfectly is, you know, it's waterproof. I just wouldn't go swimming with it right now because it's just almost 20 years old. It may need a service, and you know, those seals need to be replaced. But other than that, I think this is a better watch. And again, Citizen has something similar like this right now with their EcoDrive like sports type model, and it has a bezel just like this. And I don't think that no one's noticed that. Tag Heuer kind of did it first with this particular watch, the Aquaracer from like 06. I think, again, very beginnings of the Aquaracer, and they just basically copied it via that. Tag Heuer also copied from the Royal Oak with its styling. But I mean, this is a great watch. And again, if you have the opportunity to catch it on eBay, do so. Thanks for stopping by again. Just wanted to give you a look at one of my members of my watch collection. Again, this Tag Heuer Aquaracer. Again, very light, nice and small and compact. You know, like I said, either 39 mils, maybe 40 with all the way to the crown guards, to the crown, 41 or 41, either 40 or 41, 45 lug to lug, 20 mil lug width, not too bad at all, and a great dial. I do like these applied indices with that number 12 at the top. I'm not really a good fan of the hands. Don't really like these like needle type ones, like this very just stick rectangular ones. I'm not a good fan of rectangular hands on a watch, but I think this one plays it off pretty well. And so again, I wish watches had the you know, the little box or the frame had the frame around the date. Instead of leaving it this bare. I mean, Seiko does it, some higher watch companies do it too, like La Suta and so on and so forth. I don't know why they do that. I think it's pretty stupid, but hey, again, the video is running a little bit too long, but hey, I want to thank you so much for taking your time with me again and taking a look at my Tag Heuer. Thanks.